Hello and welcome to Barbershop Books Storytime with me, Alvin Irby. Today's story is a classic. Do you remember oh, wait a minute. What's this? I was riding my bike, rushing to get here, and I still have my bike helmet on. When you ride a bicycle, do you wear a helmet? I hope you do, because helmets help keep your head and your brain safe. So today's story is a classic. Do you remember what a classic is? Well, a classic is something that's a little old, but normally it just means that it's something that a lot of people have liked for a really long time. And so the book that we're going to read today is a book that a lot of people like for a really long time. And it's a what? Yeah, it's a classic. So today's story is called Where the Wild Things Are. Ooh. Let's take a look at the front cover. On the front cover, I see what looks like some kind of monster or strange animal. And it kind of has like human feet. Do you see the feet? And then over here, there's a boat, but it's covered up by this little sticker here. So you can't even really see if there's someone in the boat. I think there's someone in the boat. Well, let's hop into today's story. Where the Wild Things Are. And look. There are two monsters now. And there's a little kid. Oh, wait. There he is. Do you see him? And he has a crown on. Do you know what a crown means if you're wearing a crown? It usually means you're a king or a queen or some type of royalty. All right. Well, I don't have on a crown, but I do have on a helmet. All right. Let's see. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. Look, here's Max. He's using a hammer and a nail. That doesn't look good. I hope he got his parents' permission to nail something into the wall. That could be dangerous. You don't want to hit your finger or poke yourself. But it looks like he's building something cool. I wonder what it's going to be. Let's see. It said he was making mischief of one kind and another. And look, he's running after the dog in his wolf suit. And he's holding a fork. Oh no. Do you know what the word mischief means? Mischief just means you're getting in trouble. Or you're like doing bad things that you're not supposed to do. That's what the word mischief means. That's a cool word. I like it. You know what else I like? I like Max's wolf suit. Do you see it? It's super cool. All right, let's see what else. His mother called him Wild Thing. And Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. He told his mom, "I'll eat you up." And then he got in trouble and she said, "To your room with no, I guess, dinner." Oh, man. And look, you can tell that Max is not happy. Can you see his face? He does not look happy. Why? Well, of course, because he got sent to his room without eating. Because he was not being nice. He was making mischief. Can you say mischief? Mischief. It just means you're getting in trouble. All right, let's see what happens next. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. Could you imagine if a forest grew in your room? There would be be leaves everywhere. All over the floor, on your bed. They would just be everywhere. Does that mean you would have to rake your room? I don't know. Well, here's Max's room. And do you see the forest that's growing in his room? I see trees popping up everywhere. Would you like to count the trees with me? Let's count the trees. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 trees. There are 6 trees growing in his room right now. How cool is that? Or a little scary if you don't like trees in your bedroom. It says that the forest grew and grew. So the forest just kept growing. And now it doesn't even look like a room anymore. It just looks like a forest. Would that make you scared if your room turned into a forest? And it says that it grew until his ceiling hung with vines. And the walls became the world all around. So Max's entire room turned into one big forest. You know what I wonder? I wonder, did Max's room really turn into a forest, or was he using his imagination? I don't know. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. Whoa! So there was a forest all in his room, and then all of a sudden a boat appeared. And not just any old boat. This boat actually had Max's name on it. If you look really close, you can see it right here. It says Max. M-A-X. Max. I think I would like to have a boat with my name on it. It would say Alvin's boat. Or maybe just Alvin. I don't know. One of those. Alvin's boat or just Alvin. All right. Well, let's see where Max goes in his boat. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. Whoa, he traveled for a really, really long time. It says for in and out of weeks, almost over a year, he traveled to where the wild things are. I think I see one of these wild things. It's right here. It looks like a monster. And look at its claws. Or maybe they're called talons. There's a name for like really big claws. Let's keep reading. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars. Roar, roar. Can you roar a terrible roar? Roar, roar. And they gnashed their terrible teeth. And rolled their terrible eyes. I don't know if I'm good at rolling my eyes, but I tried. And they showed their terrible claws. Everything about these wild things are terrible. Their roars, their teeth, their eyes, and their claws. Wow, and look at them. Do you see all these different wild things? And there's Max. I would be so scared if I showed up on an island and there were all those monsters everywhere. And they were roaring. Roar, roar. But you know what? Max doesn't even look scared. Look. Can you see his face? It kind of looks like he almost looks a little mad. I don't know. Let's keep reading. Till Max said, "Be still." He told the wild things to be still. Can you believe that? And tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. So, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. Whoa! So Max showed up to this island full of all of these wild things that had terrible claws and terrible roars and terrible teeth. And he tamed them by staring into their eyes without blinking. And then all of the wild things just got scared. Can you stare without blinking for like 5 seconds? Let's try. Whoa! That was a long time not to blink. I wonder how long Max stared at the wild things without blinking. 10 seconds? 40 seconds? A minute? 5 minutes? 30 minutes? I don't know how long he stared at these wild things, but they sure did become scared. And made him king of all the wild things. All of the monsters made Max king. That's kind of cool. Would you want to be a king or a queen? Would I want to be a king or a queen? I don't know. Because, yeah, you get to tell everybody what to do, but also, every time someone has a problem, they're going to come to you and say, "King, can you fix this? Can you fix that?" And if you're the king or the queen, well, you got to help the people, right? Well, let's see what happens next. "And now," cried Max, "let the Wild Rumpus start." Wild Rumpus? What is a Wild Rumpus? I'll tell you. A Wild Rumpus? It's like a big party. Except a Wild Rumpus means that it's like a wild party. So I think that all the monsters and Max, they're about to have a big party. Look, they crown him king. Do you see it? And look at all the monsters. Oh, I'm sorry, all the wild things. They're all treating him like a king. Look at their rumpus, their party. They're dancing. When you have a party, do you dance? The next time that you have a birthday, you could say, "I'm going to have a birthday rumpus." That's like a party. Although, if you say that to other little kids, they may not know what you're talking about. Because rumpus, well, that's not a word that a lot of people use all the time, but it is a fun word. Rumpus. You know what? I think I'm going to have a dance rumpus. Want to have a dance rumpus? Okay, back to the story. Okay. They are having too much fun. Do you see what they're doing? They're all hanging from the trees like they're jungle gyms. It looks fun. And it looks like they're soft grass. So when they land, they won't hurt their feet. They'll just land on the soft grass. It looks like Max and the wild things are having a lot of fun. Let's see what they do next. Whoa! The wild things carry him around on their back while he's holding a staff and wearing his crown. Do you see the staff in his hand? It's right, let's see, right here. This is called a staff. And it's usually something that royalty, like a king or a queen or a prince or a princess, sometimes they will hold a staff in their hand while they're wearing their crown. It looks kind of cool, right? Let's see what happens next. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. But what did they do? Why can't the wild things have their supper? That's what happened to Max, remember? He told his mom, "I'll eat you up." And she said, "To your bedroom without supper." Oh man, I'm sure he must have been super duper hungry. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Oh, I guess maybe he felt lonely with the wild things. I wonder who he was missing in his room. Maybe his mom or his dad, or if he had a brother or sister, maybe he was missing them. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. This story is kind of making me hungry a little bit. So he gave up being a king of where the wild things are. He gave up being a king? Look, here's Max, and I think he's feeling lonely. See, he looks a little sad. Even though he was having fun with the wild things, I think he misses someone. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roar. Roar, roar. And gnashed their terrible teeth. Oh, oh. And rolled their terrible eyes. I'm not good at rolling my eyes, but I think I rolled them. And showed their terrible claws. Rawr. Rawr. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. Who did he wave goodbye to? All the wild things. Oh, let me show you the picture. Here are all the wild things. What are they doing? Well, they're roaring. They're gnashing their teeth. They are rolling their terrible eyes. And then they're waving goodbye. And look, there's Max in his private boat. Oh, it doesn't say Max on this side of the boat. It only says Max on the other side. Where do you think Max is sailing to? I think he's going to sail back to where he came from. Let's see. So, he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And here Max is on his sailboat. Now, how do you know it's a sailboat? Because it has these big yellow sails. A motorboat usually has a motor on the back. But a sailboat has these large sails. It's just these large things made out of fabric. And when the wind gets into them, it makes the boat move. It's really, really cool. I was on a sailboat once, and it was fun. A little scary, but a lot of fun. And he was even sailing at night. Now, that seems like it could be a little scary, but Max is really brave. Remember, he was the king of where the wild things are. Wow, this is a really cool story. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Oh man, I think that his mom made him supper. Oops, there we go. And look, he even took off part of his wolf suit. I wonder what he has for supper. I think he even has a piece of cake. Do you see it? On the table? I think that's a piece of cake. I can't really tell. But there's something in a bowl. I bet it's delicious. And it was still hot. Well, that's good. Wait. That's the end. That's the end of today's story. Well, this was a really grand adventure. Max, his room, turned into what? It turned into a huge forest. And then there was a big ocean that appeared. And then what happened? A boat popped up out of nowhere and it had Max's name on it. So he traveled for a long time, for days and weeks, and even almost a year, until he got to an island where the wild things are. And then he became their king. And he had a wild ruckus, like a ruckus. Yeah, a ruckus, like a party. And then he got lonely and he decided he wanted to go back home. And then when he got home, back to his bedroom, his dinner was waiting on him. Oh man. Well, today's story, Where the Wild Things Are, is such a cool story and a classic. And it lets us use our imagination. And I love to use my imagination. Well, thanks for listening to today's Barbershop Book Storytime. If you would like to learn more information about Barbershop Books, you can visit our website, barbershopbooks.org. You can also connect with us on social media at Barbershop Books. Until next time, bye.